Baby, can't you see? You're the only girl for me. Take you places that you never seen. We be going overboard, overseas. Never would I waste your time. You and I together, we timeless. Don't you worry about the
Straight Outta Fresno podcast, episode 2.
Episode 2.
Thank you guys for tuning in again. For all of you guys that checked out episode 1, thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the views. Much love. You know, I felt the love. I've just been excited to get this next episode out. We got a special guest with us this time. My boy. We go a few years back. We might go over. Yeah. We might go over our history a little bit as well.
Awesome.
For the people. But Brian Cade, R&B artist, Brian Cade, what's good?
Straight Outta Fresno, what's cracking? What up, Sid? Thank you for having me on, man. Episode 2. I'm very grateful to be a part of your journey and your experience, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know when I first, talked about launching it, I think you were like the first person that I hit up. And then, just to see if you're interested and, and that was like months back. So I'm still glad, you're still on board and be able to just.
I saw you at a Barb's, soul food spot, So that was just a reconnection, the reaffirmation of it, like really being real. So I'm glad to be here.
Right.
Man. Thank you again.
Yeah. Look at God.
You know what I'm saying? Hallelujah.
All right, so I know we got a lot of stuff to cover for you. Obviously, you got a new project, Radiant, coming out, dropping on June 1st. So perfect timing for this. But for the people that don't really know you, I think people that haven't had a chance to listen to your music, first and foremost,
what up to those people? What up?
So let's start with your love of music. Where did that come from?
So I've been a lover of music since I was a little kid, man. I think it really started when I was riding around in my dad's Honda Civic, back in the day, because I'm originally from Southern California. So we lived in Azusa, I lived in Pasadena, I lived in Upland. So just all over the Southern California area. But we used to ride around. He was a big Fugees fan. He was a big Wu-Tang fan, big Lauryn Hill fan. So I would catch myself in the back seat, singing a lot of those songs. And man, I think that's where it really started to grow on me of just like, man, I don't know about everything else, but I do love the music,
Right. And I guess, at what point, because I think a lot of people love music, they love to sing along, they love to, do a little light work, a little freestyle or whatever. But for you, at what point did you say, you know what, I might make a little something out of this? This is something I want to do.
It's so funny because as I think about this, it's like my dad introduced me to the love of music, and then it was my mom who pushed me to understand that it was actually a possibility and something real. She actually, when I was about 10 years old, I moved out here from Southern California with my dad and moved out here to the Central Valley. And I think I was about 11 when my mom moved to Fresno, and she was actually recording her own singles and recording her own songs. And she would come home with her own CDs and play us the records and stuff like that. And it was just an eye-opening experience for me because it went from me being with my dad, only hearing songs on the radio, to moving out here with my mom and actually seeing her make the music that we're listening to out the radio, So I think that's where it became an actual reality and actuality compared to a lot of people. I think even now with the people who make music now, it wasn't until they seen somebody who was almost one of their peers or somebody that was older than them, or, somebody in their age group doing music that made them understand that they could as well do it. It goes back to me being like 12 years old, seeing my mom coming home with her CDs, and her first husband was funding her music. So I was just like, man, I'm about to start writing my music now so they can go ahead and fund my little project, what I'm saying? So, but I'm glad it worked out the way it did, man.
Yeah. So, I got to think, like we've said, we've known each other probably going on about 5 years now. Yeah. Actually, it might be more than that. Yeah, it's been a little longer than that. Yeah. So I know for you, you have a lot of confidence. You exude a lot of confidence. I've always known that about you. So when you decide, hey, I'm going to get into music, and you start telling people, and kind of putting projects out, you have to have a lot of confidence because most people are going to be like, Brian singing, Brian rapping, like.
Right. One thing with me is that I was like, and not that like I'm trying to make it seem like this, but I've always seen myself a little bit as like an outsider, being that I came from Southern California And then I went to school in Fresno, and nobody really knew my background because I came in 5th grade. And then from 5th and 6th grade, I went to Bernie Elementary, and then I went to Clark, which is a Clovis school. So then again, just another kid who nobody knows and just an outsider. And music was one thing that I always knew that if people knew I could sing, then automatically I'm about to be able to maneuver and know people because they'll know me as the guy who does music, you know, and who can sing. So
Right.
I think it's been a confident thing, but it's also been almost like my way of connecting with the masses and just new people. Like, yo, I can sing though.
Right.
Like,
Right.
yeah, but I honestly didn't start put out music until I was like actually putting the music out until I was a sophomore. No, pardon me. Yeah, sophomore pretty much. Like I put out a couple songs by myself, but they were just little projects. And I mean, this is like 2007, and I didn't have a studio. I had like a big computer that had Windows Movie Maker on it, and I had a USB microphone that I would plug up. And I had like a program like Virtual DJ, and I would play the music off of one program and record my vocals off of one program, do it all in one take, and then put the vocals and the beat together, and you know what I mean, put it on my MySpace. But it was just little stuff that I was doing just to show people like, yo, I'm trying to do it. And then once somebody actually, my boy Ivan is who I did a boy band with in high school. It wasn't until my sophomore year where we actually made like CDs and went around and started passing them out and selling them and like really getting out and doing shows and doing original music, like our own songs, you know. So it was a confidence thing, but it wasn't something that I was able to jump out on my own and be like, yo, it's just me. It started off with a group, you know what I mean? Me and somebody else that I was comfortable doing it with. And then it turned into.
I guess, you know, when you talk about, you know, being in a group or starting in a group, obviously, you know, you have, you know, goals and aspirations for yourself. But how are you kind of leveraging, I guess, being in that group to, you know, prepare yourself as an artist?
You know what? When I was in the group, I was, sophomore year, you're like, 14, turning 15, 16, you know what I mean? So it's like, you got high hopes. I'm like, this group is going to take me to the top. You know, me and the homies, we going all the way, you know what I mean? And everything happens how it's supposed to. So even though it didn't happen that way, it definitely conditioned me and got me prepared to be where I'm at now, you know, to just understand that, just like we were saying prior to even the meeting working, not everything always works out how it's planned to. But once you live enough life, you realize that, and you start to prepare for things not to always work out how they plan to. And the best way you can prepare for it, in my opinion, is to just be open for whatever's going to come from it. You know what I mean?
Right. And I mean, and I respect it because I know I've always respected your grind, you know,
Thank you.
For people that don't know where we know each other, we used to work together.
Yes, sir. Panera
you know,
bread. Shout out to Panera bread. You know, getting the bread, the cheese.
You know, portioning chicken and all that
That's
stuff.
That's right. Come on.
Yeah. So I mean, I always knew at that point that you were grinding because you were doing music at that time. But it's like, you know, you're still working.
Fired because I was doing a show in LA and didn't
come
back. You feel me? Because I was like, you know, at the end of the day, and you know, you're young. If I could look back and do it differently, I would definitely put in a 2-week. You know what I mean? Just for the respect factor. But you know, at the moment, it was just fast life. You know, they wanted me to come back on a day that I wasn't trying to come back, and I missed that day, and I was just like, I'm already gone.
And
I might as well miss 3 more.
Wasn't I the one that called you?
It was a couple calls. Yeah. The last call I remember is really after maybe 3 days of no calls, no shows, calling up Andy and being like, yo, bro, what's cracking? And he was like, bro, I love you so much, but if I bring you back, there'll be mayhem here. You know what I'm saying? If we let you leave for 3 days, no call, no show, and let you come back to work, man, it's just not going to work. You know, so it was just understanding. But it's all love.
I mean, shout out to Andy, just a great dude.
Shout out to Andy, man. Shout out to Andy.
The nicest dude.
Go to his Panera Bread. Shout out to Andy.
Yeah. Shout out to Panera Bread. West Shaw, Shaw and Marty. Go hit him up.
Shout out to Andy.
But yeah, I mean, even in that situation, you know, that you brought it up, it's just like, I remember in the time, I'm just like, well, dang, you know, I really wish Brian was here because we all knew where you were at.
Right.
But at the same time, I respected it because it's like, I know that's what he really wants to do. You know, not many people would do that. They'd cut it short, you know, they.
I'm young and I have a job now, and I'm working the music and I'm working a job. And now that I'm older, I'm not about to just leave now. I got responsibilities that are different because, you know, but that's
Right.
what you do when you're young. You take those risks and you jump off the cliff and you say like, look, I got years to go back and work a regular job, you know what I'm saying, and do all that stuff. But now is now, and I'm gonna take this opportunity. And just like you said, man, I've been serious about it since I was 16, since I was 12 years old, writing songs in a room, having sweaty palms to show my mom the song that I wrote. You know what I mean? Because I thought that that was my opportunity to get into the big studio. You know, so
Right.
it's always been a serious thing for me. I think anybody who knows me and like knows my grind, it really knows they know how serious it is, man. When you put
Yeah.
in that much work towards anything, and you're like solid in your foundation. You know, I think that's one thing that from where we were 5-6 years ago when I was working Panera and where I'm at now, the foundation just wasn't as solid, and now it's a lot better. And I'm projecting a lot of great things coming in, whether it's monetary, whether it's physical things, or just the feeling of feeling great, knowing that I got people loving my music and the music is doing what it's supposed to, and that's uplifting people and bringing love, hope, you know what I mean, and a great experience.
With the grind, we all know how hard things can get sometimes. Not everything is just rosy. You know, you get your
Right,
first big break and all that good
right,
stuff. Was there ever a point, you know, throughout these endeavors where just like,
man.
man, I love music, but I really don't know if this is the
It's
move.
funny because we talk about Panera, and like that was the time when I was like kind of doubting myself. I think I was about 23,
Yeah,
22,
something like
23
that.
years
Because I
old.
was
You
like
know what I mean?
24, 25. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like just at that point where I wasn't 100% sure. And that again comes down to the foundation just not being solid. So just knowing that I want it, but just looking at everything in my corner and saying like, is it really gonna happen the way that I have it set up? I think even reading this book that I read that was like the vision and no, it was like the purpose and reason of vision or something like that. The reason and it was just it was a great book by Dr. Miles Morales or Miles Monroe, pardon
Mm.
me. And it was just a great book talking about the difference between vision, which is something that God gives you in your heart, and sight, which is the ability to see with your eyes. You know what I mean? And so after reading that book, I just came to the understanding like this love that I have to make music that I've had for at the time, maybe 10 years plus, you know, it was something that God put in my heart. So it's like, I can't stop. You know what I mean? Like I put in
Right.
this much work. We're into this deep. I can't stop. You know what I mean? We just have to use the vision to take us to the next level. So I definitely have had those moments. I moved out to LA for a while. I was living out there for 2 years, and I ended up making more money than I've ever made in my life, but just working more and making less music and doing less shows and less photo shoots and all that stuff that I've ever done in my life as well. So, you know, there's just moments where you drop, but I'm a very positive person, and I understand how important it is to be forward thinking and having depth of vision, knowing that if you want to get somewhere that's great, you know, I mean, you're gonna have to go through a lot. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go somewhere quick and you want to get a quick fix, just know that that's not gonna be a lot. You know, and that's something that I noticed in the music industry, just being a musician, especially as long as I've been a musician, and I don't even take myself as an aspiring musician anymore. Like, bro, this is what I do, family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like just being in those shoes. It's like when I listen to the new music and the new artists that come out, you know, you kind of sense that vibe of people who are kind of going on that same route of following trends, and they're getting success very quickly. But then where are they at 5 years later? You know what I'm saying? So it's like knowing that I want my music to be timeless, and I want my music to live on for generations, and I want what I say to be, you know, because I'm right now listening to Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, that came out in 1971. That whole album,
Hmm.
oh, it's so relevant right now in 2020 as we're going through this virus and all this stuff, you know. So it's like that's the kind of music that I'm focused on making. So if it takes me as much time as it's taking me to get there, I know that I'm headed to the right direction because I'm focused. We continuously progressing on what we're making, you know what I'm saying? And whether you notice it or you don't, I notice it and I'm making it, you know what I mean? So I
Right.
know it's only a matter of time before we get to where we're eventually satisfied with the position. You know?
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all about. Because I know that nothing in life is ever about the destination. There's never going to be a point with music that I can finally be done. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just going to get to the point where I don't want to make music and that's not my main focus anymore. It's just like if you pay attention to Kanye, and it's like, it's funny now because it's almost a taboo thing to be a Kanye fan. It's almost like being a Trump fan. You can't really come out and talk about these things amongst the masses. You have to be quiet. But it's like, as far as the Kanye, you realize that he was going through so much within himself because he was fighting to still be the #1 musician. And once he stepped away from the music and found his joy in making other things, he was able to find Jesus, you know what I'm saying? And he was able to find God and find peace in his own right. And even though his peace might not be my peace, his peace might not be your peace, he's more at peace with himself. He's not ranting as much, and he's not, because he's not on this destination vibe. He's like, I'm on the journey. Once I've got my fix here, I've gotten to the point where I've seen enough here where I know that I want to get here. And that's what I'm doing with the music, man. I'm 28 years old, and I know that where I'm at now, I'm not satisfied, but it's going to get to a point where I'm like, okay, now that I've done the music, we're going to move on to the next project. You know what I'm saying? And we're cooking up the next project right now, you know, because I feel so confident with the music. I've been doing the music for so long. So I know it's only a matter of time till we get to the point where it's like, okay, now that we're here, it's time to open this new chapter, you know, but it's a good vibe.
Yeah, no, that's what's up. That's what's up. So I mean, let's stick to the music right now, and let's stick to, you know, kind of your sound and your style of music. Have there been people that you've kind of taken either inspiration from or that you've kind of mirrored yourself? I know a lot of artists will say, hey, you know, I'm my own person. I don't model myself after anyone else, but sometimes there are little things, you know, little ticks that you may take from, you know, artists here or there.
I love that confidence. It's like, nah, I'm me. And it's like, some people you can hear it like, okay, yeah, this guy's really in his own bag every time, you know, but me personally, I've just been making music for so long. So it's just like so many different levels and so many different chapters. It's like there was a time where Little Bow Wow was like the guy in my eyes, you know what I mean? Where I was just like, and I think everybody who looks like me, who's about my age, it's the same. You know, there's a time when Chris Brown was the guy for me. You know what I'm saying? There was a time when Trey Songz was the guy for me. And I think now, as I progress and just get to understand more of where I want to leave my mark with the music, I'm more moved by people who are, and if we're talking more modern, like people like Anderson .Paak and Ed Sheeran, you know what I'm saying, Bruno Mars, and just these artists who are able to transcend all the genres and all the ethnic cultures. And obviously, I'm a big rap fan. You listen to my favorites on my Apple Music every week. It's always Rick Ross and Jay-Z, and you know what I mean, just real spitters in there. But like, you'll always find Prince and Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder in there as well. Just like you'll find the Internet and Frank Ocean in there as well. So there's just a lot of different artists that I'm, you know, Elton John. Started listening to Bruce Springsteen, you know what I mean? Just different artists that are bringing all the people together, because that's my main focus right now. It's like I have an afro and I'm Black, so Black people are already gonna take a chance and listen to me. So now it's about having my message that pushes what I stand for and getting it to a different perspective of people. You know what I mean? It's so easy for, and not to make it a culture thing or a white and Black thing, but it's so easy for a white artist to have a couple riffs and roll their, you know what I mean, and just do some stuff with their voice where they sound like they have soul, and that gets them straight on B95. But it's very hard for an artist that looks like me or looks like the Migos, or it's very hard for them to cross over and to get on to Y101. And I don't think that it's the radio's fault. It's just your choice of what you're saying. You know what I mean? So it's like, to get on those urban radio stations, you got to have those trap drums, and that's all you got to do. So it's easy as that. Do that and you'll get there. Plus, you're Ariana Grande, so you'll get on Y101 as well. But if I want to get on Y101, I got to be talking about something that's going to make everybody move. So now I'm listening to artists that have done that, like Earth, Wind, and Fire. In a time when being Black and being a musician, it wasn't about B95. It was just about great records. And we don't care if you Black. There's no Black stations. It's either a hit or it's not. So Earth, Wind, and Fire is making songs like September, a song that everybody can relate to, because no matter what your color is, no matter what your race is, you go through September. There's a 21st night for you of September, no matter what you look like, young or old, you know what I mean? So it's just taking that concept and wanting to dive deeper into that, because again, I'm Black in America, and then when I'm at work they play a lot of this music that I have to conform to. And when I finally hear artists that I was raised around, it's not the songs that we play at the family reunion. It's the songs that were made that just transcend the culture. They play Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror, you know, and that's not the song that we all listen to when we're cooking and barbecuing. But at the end of the day, he made that song. And that just makes me understand that you want to transcend the culture, you got to just talk about something as big as that. So I think that's where I'm at now. But again, man, I'm always just getting inspired by all kinds of stuff. I just heard a song by Future and Travis Scott today that had me like, ooh, I'm about to go to work, but I'm turned. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
it's always looking for it.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's cool because going back to what you said kind of about, you know, just making great records, I feel like there are a lot of artists that just produce just great music. It doesn't matter what the genre is. You know, like I know we call Michael Jackson the king of pop, but when you think about his songs, you don't say this is a pop song.
Absolutely.
You know, just something, it's a great record that everybody listens to.
And that's where I'm trying to take it, where it's just like we've been taught so much, especially our generation more, because we have been born into all these different radio stations and having alt nation and hip hop nation and rock nation and pop nation, you know what I'm saying? So it's like all these subcultures, but it's like at the time when Michael Jackson was being referred as, pardon me, the king of pop, he was just making popular music. It just meant that his music is the most popular amongst the masses, you know what I mean? So that's really what it comes down to, you know, and now when you listen to an artist and he has certain sounds, they say, oh, that's a pop song. But it's like, really, when you listen to the lyrics, that's what you should really breaking it down to. Because I was listening to Childish Gambino, his new album, and it's a song that sounds like a country song, but he's talking about selling dope. You know what I mean? Little foot, big, little foot, big foot, get out the way. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's singing and it sounds just like a country record, but it's the lyrics of a hip hop record. So therefore, it makes it a hip hop song still. It's the same thing with Lil Nas X, where it's like,
he had people confused for a minute. They were like, what radio station do you play him on?
But just rock with me, though, because it's really the lyrics that make the genre, because it was a hip-hop song, but the lyrics were what? I got the horses in the back, so it's a country record because the lyrics are country, even though the beat is making you think this. And that's where minds are blown, because it's like, again, he's transcending the cultures, but he understood what he's doing, man.
That's one of those things.
Yeah,
and that's one of those things I think a lot of artists are scared to pursue, because it's like you don't really have many people to, you know, reflect on.
And that's what we talk about, though. We talk about those people who are following the trends, who are trying to just get that quick. But then again, once that sound that you're making is done for, then you have to come to your reality of making your creativity what you stand on. And if your creativity is based off the next person's creativity, and their creativity is no longer selling, then you're done for. You know what I'm saying? I think even as we look at it, Lil Nas X, his sound is it's very different to us because we're Californians. But when I was in Atlanta, I would talk to a lot of brothers from Florida, from Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, from the surrounding South, and them niggas listen to country. You know what I'm saying? Don't get them, they're country niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like
Jimmy Butler's a huge country fan.
Come on, that's it.
There's black people listen to country.
That's it, because they can relate to the message that's in the music, and that's again what I'm being more focused on is. And it's like if you go back and listen to my records, like Tequila on the Rock, it's like there was records that I was making that specifically I was trying to get on the radio. I was trying to get where I needed to get, and now this new project is focused on pushing a bigger message, you know what I'm saying? And like, and at the end of the day, we're working for the kingdom. So it's like, there's no way that this project can fail now, because even before, it's like, I want to get a hit. I want this to be on the radio. I want to show this person that I got good music. Well, all those things that you're doing is trying to please man. And if you're trying to please man, you can never really please man, because man never knows what he wants, you know what I'm saying? But when you start working for the kingdom, that's when everything that you're doing is going to be anointed, and people are going to start hearing it with a different ear. And that's why I'm so excited about. I mean, if you peep it, we making CDs, we making shirts. I got hats coming, because Radiant is the beginning of this new Brian Cade that I've been taking so long to just finally understand what my niche is. You know, I know that I sing. I know that I'm a positive guy, but it's not all about singing. Gotta be positive on your songs and gotta feel good every day. You know, it's about really taking the message, the solution of what the problems are in the world, and putting that in a record and making sure people can listen to it and rock to it, you know what I'm saying, but also walk away to it and be in the kitchen washing their dishes. Like, damn, he said that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I do it all the time as I'm sitting back washing dishes. I'll spit something that Jay-Z spit 20 years ago, and I'll be like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's so cold. But that's what it's about, you know, giving people that experience. That's really what life is. It's an experience.
Yeah, so let's talk about your come up, because I know people can go back to, you know, your YouTube right now. They can check out your plays on, you know, Spotify, your own Google Podcasts, or not Google Podcasts, Google Play, you know, Apple Music, all that good stuff.
Plug. He's doing a great job. Cheap plug. He's plugging your boy, Brian Cade, and all those places he was talking about. YouTube, Brian Cade, check your boy. But
do that. I mean, I still have some of your old music in rotation. Like, there was one time I think I was just washing the dishes since you mentioned it, and I was playing Roller Coaster, and Steph was like, "Wait, who is that?" I was like, "That's Brian." Like, Brian Cade?
Shout out to Steph too. Shout out to Steph.
Yeah.
And the little man. You know, congratulations on our family, bro. Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that. So that come up, you know, when did you kind of first recognize, like, hey, I'm kind of like on the scene and like people are rocking with me?
Okay, well, that was like when me and that band that I was in, we went. It's so funny, you know. I mean, the Fresno Fair has really done a great job of giving people a platform and allowing everybody from around Fresno to see the next, you know, up and coming artists from Fresno, because the fair is such a central place for everybody from Clovis to the east side to the west side to come in and meet, you know. So I went and did the fair. I think it was my junior year. We were out there rocking, and we were the only singers that were in the under 18 group, me and my boy Ivan. And we just killed everybody in that class. They were just like, yo, bro, like, you guys were so good. We're just going to move you guys up to the above 18 so that you guys don't just take all the awards from the kids. Yeah, like magicians and kid dancers. And you know what I mean? So we ended up getting second place, I believe, or something like that. Like, but it was like, we got second place, but they moved us up to a higher class. So it's like, we really just won. And so that's when I was like, damn, we really did a good job. And then, you know, things happened. I ended up not in the group anymore. And I came back the next year, 18 years old, just graduated from high school. Or maybe I did it it was my senior year. My senior year, I came after I graduated. It was in October or whatever. And I came back and did it by myself. I remember I lost to the man, B-Wash. Shout out to B-Wash, wherever he's at. That's my brother. He's always shown love and given opportunities. He won the fair, but I think the second runner-up prize was to open up for Jason Derulo at the fair. And I opened up for Jason Derulo, which is so funny because I look at his TikToks now on his Instagram, and I'm just like, I opened up for this guy.
Right.
And shout out to Jason. Shout out to Jason, you know what I mean? But either way, after I did that, everybody out here was kind of just like, yo, this guy Brian, he's the next Jason Derulo, I guess. You know right.
It just seemed like it was the most fitting at the time.
Yeah, people were rocking with me, you know, and honestly, like I said, I've always had that grind and I've always had that vision. I had friends who were in the group with me that split and did their own thing, and I would go and support them. I would meet people in their circle, people shooting videos for them. Yo, come shoot a video for me. We shot videos. And then as we continue to just work, create the brand and create the Brian Cade thing, people just started to gravitate towards it. And that's when Love City came, you know what I mean? Because those was my brothers. I got evicted from my parents' house, basically. So I had, you know what I mean? And the homies was like, you can come stay on the couch. Homies put up the bread to help get me in the studio. So it's like, you know, the come up. And again, it's all the journey, bro. Like, this is all stuff I'm going to end up telling all these stories again in a movie, you know what I mean? Because it's got to be told. It's got to live on, and it's got to give inspiration to let people know that it's never over, bro. Like, you're going through it right now, but if you're really serious about getting to where you're trying to get, you will persist, you know? And that's even everybody going through this virus with me, you know what I mean? Like, if you're allowing this virus to stop you from getting to where you thought you were supposed to be in 2020, you know what I mean? You might not be that serious about getting to where you thought you was trying to get this year, you know what I mean? Because in January, I told myself, oh, we going in. I don't care, you know what I mean? I was sitting in San Luis Obispo recording the EP when the virus really broke and really started taking over the city and stuff like that. we had plans to go out to LA and sit down in Sony studios and do all kinds of stuff. But after a week of doubting myself and doubting the world, I was just like, what got me to this point in the first place? My grind, my persistence. I have to continue. I have to put this music out. I have to keep going, you know? So again, we can't allow circumstance to dictate our movement. We gotta learn how to dance in the rain, you know? Because once you dance in the rain, you excited every time it rains. You excited every time the sun's out. There's never a bad day. You like, oh, it's raining? I get to show off these moves that I learned. You know? But I do want to talk about my Love City brothers, bro. I got to talk about it. I was just in the studio with them today.
Yeah, that's what's up. I was just gonna segue into that. I have that the next thing on here. So let's talk Love City. I mean, you're talking Z-Will, you're talking Casino Cam,
Crash Daddy, J Soul.
Yeah. It's wild because I've known Crash. I'm not gonna say his government name. I know him since elementary school. So I mean, it's still wild because I never envisioned him as the artist that he is. So, I mean, shout outs to Crash.
And Sub Life 2 is on the way. Sub Life 2 is on the way. I don't know if you heard, but Z-Will's Days In just dropped. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I'm on it.
You go grab that. You know what I mean? My man Casino Cam, he's tapped in and dropping beats and dropping vibes for everybody who's looking for him. And Sub Life 2 was on the way after I dropped my radio. You know what I mean? And it's almost like we planned it, but that's just how God works again, man. Like when the world needed it, Love City came through and gave you music back to back to back.
Right.
Don't forget coronavirus.
When it's needed, man. When it's needed.
When it's needed.
So, I mean, so talk about how that came to be, and then talk about the influence that Love City's had on your musical career.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
and your life ultimately.
Yeah, you know, Love City started off with me, Cam, and Z, because like I said, I got evicted from my parents and I had to move with the homies, and I had just turned 18, and we were going to Aldo's every week, bro. Because I didn't have nothing else to do, bro. I was 18, fresh to the club scene. So we go to Aldo's, I think on Tuesdays, damn near every week, get there early, trying to get in for free. Come on now, you know what's going on. We just trying to get in and have a good time. Come on.
Right.
Everybody watching this know what I'm talking about. So anyways, you know, there was the guys who used to promote the clubs and get the people to come out. And they had their name. Their name was Sin City. And I keep telling myself I gotta stop saying their name because that's free promotion for no reason. But it's very clever because Sin was C-E-N, like Central, Sin City. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that's hard. I gotta, you know, give them props. That's hard. So they had their thing, and they used to always cut through no matter what time it was. You know, they would come in 15 people deep. The thing was like, if you didn't get in by 10, you couldn't get in for free. They come at 9:50. 15 people, right. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah. Either way, we you know, we got home and it was one of those nights where we was just talking about how we can't wait till we are the people who get to make an influence on the people. You know what I mean? And when we do it, we're gonna do it with love. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody gets in, you know what I mean, type of vibe. And Love City's done a lot of free shows for anybody that's, you know, trying to knock it. But either way, you know what I mean? That's where it started. And it was actually Z-Will's idea. He was like, Love City. And I was just like, I don't know. And then I remember going out and performing and just saying it, like starting to record songs for my first little project and starting to say it on the songs. And it just stuck. And honestly, it stuck because, pardon me, I'm sipping on brews, bro. But yeah, it stuck because the girls, you know what I'm saying? The girls was rocking with the Love City, you know what I mean? And we all handsome fellas. So yeah, so that's where it really started. And that's like the birth of Love City. And then you have Z-Will coming out and getting his opportunity to open up for Kendrick and open up for Tyga the same year and doing his thing, waving the Love City flag. And then you have, you know, us meeting Crash in the midst of me making music and him seeing my stuff and being like, oh, y'all from out here? Let's all link up. And us, you know what I mean? So it's, and again, like my whole thing with Love City now is like, obviously it's me and my brothers, you know what I'm saying? I got it tattooed on me because it's that serious to me. But Love City is Fresno, man. Like this is my city, you know what I mean? And we have a certain people look at the city a certain way. There's a certain perspective on Fresno. And my whole goal is to kind of just change that whole stigma that we have that it's, you know, gangster or it's a bad or a harder place to be successful. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, when you have those kind of stigmas on you, you're being programmed to already bring failure to your life. You know what I'm saying? So we want to come in and bring love and bring hope to the city. So it's like Love City definitely inspired me to even get to the point where I'm at. Because I was just telling the homies, like, Z Will's always been a deep dude. You know what I mean? Since I've known him, he's always been a forward thinker. If you guys ask Z what Z Will stands for, Z is the initial for his first name, and Will is mental fortitude. You know what I'm saying? So he's always been just always about being strong with his mind. You know, Cam is the same way. Cam and Z are brothers. So they were raised together for a duration in their lives. You know, but me, I've always been a positive guy, but life is an experience, you know, and you get pulled multiple ways. But with the music before Radiant, I feel like it was a lot of me trying to be the Love City singing guy and just fill my void as a singer. I'm only gonna sing about girls. I'm only gonna sing about, you know, heartbreak. I'm only gonna sing about falling in love. I'm gonna sing about occasionally getting fucked up and getting drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, but never really taking it to the depths of like what love really is and where it comes from, and you know what I'm saying, and not just a sexual love or a love between a man and a woman, but a platonic love as well, of just loving your brother. You know what I mean? I've never made a record like that until Radiant. You know what I'm saying? Where we have records where we're talking about mental freedom and helping people, you know, just, and it's not church music. You know what I'm saying? It feels good. It's feel good music. So
yeah,
you know, that's my whole mandate and my whole little acronym for everything that I'm doing from this day forth is hope. You know what I mean? It's helping other people elevate or helping oppressed people escape, or any other positive acronym that goes with hope. And it just makes so much sense as I talk about life being chapters. One chapter in my life was Love City and living that and getting that tattooed on my arm. And now the next chapter is hope and bringing hope to the Love City. You know what I'm saying? And being the one, and not the only one, but just being someone who brings hope to Love City. So it's definitely groomed me to be somebody. And again, everybody in my squad, we've always been positive guys. Never wanted to wish ill on anybody or bring harm to anybody. Even if you wish ill on us or want to bring harm to us, you know what I mean? We've never really moved that way. And I think us all understanding the energy and the vibrational experience about life now, you know what I mean? Like, I was 18 when I was repping that Love City on my first project. I wasn't where I'm at now 10 years later, but it's always been in my spirit. It's been who I am, you know, since I was in that backseat of my dad's Honda Civic, listening to Rocket Love by Stevie Wonder, which I didn't know it was called Rocket Love for years after I moved away, and found it when I was 18. Like, oh my God, I found the song. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's the spirit of love has always been in me. And I think that Love City is something that was already in the stars before I was born. And it's something that all of us, Cam, Z, Crash, J Soul, you know, my new brothers, LVR, Little Nate that I'm rocking with, all of us wrote Spirit Bolt, my boy Daniel, all of us, we all have a spirit that vibrates higher, you know what I mean, and strives to see other people doing good and doing well and being secure. You know, it's not just one of those like mob mentalities where it's like, if you're not with me, then I don't want you to win. It's only my family. Right. You know, my family over everybody. Like, it's not like that with us. It's everybody that's wants to see themselves do well. We want to see you do well as well. And your actions speak louder than your words. So you can say you want to do well, but until you start moving that way, then our paths will cross. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, it's dope because you guys all put out great music. I've listened to every single one of you guys.
Thank you.
So you guys are definitely all dope. But you guys get hyped too. I've seen you guys at a couple of free shows. I've seen you guys at Catacombs, and you guys.
And that's the thing,
Grizzly
like
Fest.
People will take the Love City and think that like it's gonna be a whole bunch of like mushy songs, you know what I'm saying? Or like,
right.
But like again, like love is the strongest energy that is provided on earth. You know what I'm saying? Love is the only thing that can conquer everything. You know, so it's like really think about that. If I'm Love City, nigga, I'm coming with it right now. You know, we not
Right.
just coming for your girl, we coming for your mind, your heart, your soul. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have you moving. We gonna have you feeling the way that you need to be feeling. And when you walk away from it, you gonna understand how you're supposed to be feeling. And you don't have to go to another Love City show. You could just keep feeling that way.
Yeah.
I think
No,
that's another thing with a lot of the music that's out and that's popular. It's just like they're assisting the system that brings a lot of people down, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the music that we listen to that's very popular is just, even though they're not saying it in the records, it's promoting a lot of hurtful things to yourself, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I think
That's right.
that, you know, coming to see a Love City show will help you understand that you don't have to do all that dumb shit to feel good. And like I said, you won't have to come to another Love City show. You'll want to come to another Love City show.
Yeah, it's so dope because an artist that I listen to a lot is Joyner Lucas, and
Beautiful.
Joyner Lucas just dropped that remix to Will with
Yeah.
Will Smith on the track, and Will had his bars, and it was all like positive, you know what I mean? But like he was spitting at the same time, like
Stupid.
everybody's been talking about Will's verse,
Right. And everybody
so
knows that Will doesn't cuss. You know what I'm saying? Everybody
yeah,
knows that when you go see a Will Smith movie, you're gonna walk away with some gravity. And it's like, that's the same mandate we on now. It's like,
yeah,
why does it have to be just Will Smith? Why does it have to be somebody that's 50 years old? How come it can't be people that look like me and you that's making it cool to be a good person? You know what I'm saying? That's making
exactly,
it relevant to be a caring person, to show human kindness, you know? I
yeah,
love the verse, you know what I mean? I think it's very funny how people, and I'm one of the people who kind of like, when they saw it was Will Smith, you know, because when I saw he had a verse on it, I wouldn't listen to the song. It's
hmm
Will Smith.
right.
I went in like, and then when I heard him, I
What's
was
he
like,
talking about?
yeah, like what's he gonna sound like in 2020? And he sounded great. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Not that I expected him to sound bad, but he definitely exceeded what I expected, and that's what it's all
yeah,
about. That
yeah.
shows you that
No,
he's really the Fresh Prince,
right, for
for
real.
real,
People
forever.
people forget that he like really used to do this. Like he really used to rap like
And
full
I mean, he
time.
really like he created a generation of what cool is for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because you still look at a lot of people who are going back and biting a lot of that Fresh Prince stuff, even before he was on TV. They're biting that. You know, come on,
yeah.
pay
Nah,
homage,
exactly.
pay homage.
Exactly. Exactly. Respect him. Don't think about, his
Come
low
on.
points or trash him for being corny. Like, I mean,
Well, corny
even
is just a
DJ
subjective thing
Jazzy
as
Jeff.
well. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, corny is whatever you make it. You know, if being
Yeah.
positive is corny, then I'm corny too. You know what I'm
Then I'm
saying?
a cornball. Like,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like if you talk to anybody that's wealthy and successful, they're probably as positive as Will Smith. So I guess
Yeah.
Warren Buffett is corny as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or what's homeboy that owns Jeff Bezos? You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
Jeff
I
Bezos.
guess he's
Yeah.
corny as well. You know, but it's whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about your creative process, because I think a lot of people that have never been involved in the music industry don't understand, like, how does an artist come up with a theme for an album,
Yeah.
or for an EP? How do you go into saying, hey, I'm feeling this way, I'm just going to write a song about it,
Right.
and this is how I'm going to produce it, this is the beat I'm going to pair with it. Talk about
Yeah.
your creative process a little bit.
Well, see, I think everybody has their own process, and I, commend everybody for their process. Because if you look at math, it's like there's multiple ways to get something to equal 6. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really look at somebody and say that they do it wrong or they do it right. You can just sit back and respect and appreciate the greatness. Me personally, I had a time in my life where I would write to beats and then wait to get in the studio and record the music then. And then I finally got my own situation and was able to record myself. And then we stopped writing lyrics first. We would just come up with melodies, you know what I mean, and feelings for the song. And now it's like we're having full blown 2-hour conversations about what's going on in life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we talking about something, we're getting a great concept. I have a song on the project called The Journey, and I was having an excellent conversation with my friend Rob Ray. And he was just going in, talking about how life is never ending. You know what I mean? We're not going to take it too deep, but you know what I mean? It just continues to go on, and life continues to go on. And it's not about where you end up. It's about everything that you do on the way, and it's a journey. You know what I mean? And as we're talking about that, he was just like, man, The Journey, that would be a hell of a song, The Journey. You know, and one thing that he told me, he said, as your producer, it's my job to sit back and just listen to you talk and give and highlight you. When you say dope stuff, I'm supposed to tell you, yo, that's dope. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Right.
I'm at that point where I'm around people who are able to sit back and tell me when I'm shining and I'm in my most Brian Cade mode. And as I'm like, wait, what was it that I said then? Okay. What did that make you think? Okay, so that's what the song's got to be about. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're trying to do, and that's what we're trying to get people to feel. So I think the music making process now is becoming a lot more organic. You know what I mean? Especially now that, like I said, I'm getting on the mic without any words at all. We just going in there and we filling out what the music is making me do, and I'm trying to feel as authentic and original as possible. And then after we get some melodies that work, that's when we put in the words. And then we're starting to really become very, very, very serious about the words, because the words carry intention. You know, they say that you spell words because words cast spells. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now we got to be more focused on what we're saying and why we're saying it. So it's like, man, I'm very excited for this project, but I'm more excited for everything that comes after it. Because one thing I was telling my friend Johnny Q is that, like, this isn't just like my EP that I'm banking on. This is like my reawakening. This is my this is my new coming out. This is Brian Cade 2.0. You know what I'm saying? This is Brian Cade 10 years later. This is Brian Cade. You know what I mean? I was like, I might have to turn around and change my name to Cade and be like Cher or Beyonce or be like Drake and just be Cade. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to get people to understand, like, this is a new version of who I once was.
It's
you know,
growth. It's evolution.
Absolutely. And so that's why I'm like, it has to come out, especially now, because this is the time where I feel like everybody who's going through this quarantine with me knows that there's something that they could be doing or they should be doing, but they don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm here to let you know it's growing within. Stretch yourself, dig within, dig deep, take time to really self-reflect and get yourself to the next level consciously, because that's where we're at right now. It's I was telling the homies, I was like, the first 5 weeks of quarantine and being out of work is cool, but now there's a lot of people sitting at home like, damn, there's something I should be doing right now, but what is it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Pick up a book, family. You know what I'm saying? Like, stress your mind. That's what we should be doing right now.
Yeah. Nah. I feel it. I know I still have been working, 40 hours a week, but I wish I would have had, more time to. I mean, and that's a blessing, obviously.
Hey, man.
I still wish I would have been able to be like, some of these people that have all this time to themselves and they can just put their time and effort into other things. I really wish that was my situation, but unfortunately it's not. My life still goes on.
Hey,
my
remember
work
what we
still
were
goes
just
on.
talking about, bro? We were talking about the idea that when you want to be somewhere great, bro, it's not going to be easy. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't
that's
easy
real.
for anybody in that Bible that was doing anything great. It was not easy for you, because it's a test. We need to know that you're really, because at the end of the day, like, we all have the same potential, right? It's just about who taps into it. So who's really sitting here praying to God for something that's so incredible? God's like, okay, you got heart. Let's see if you're ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's put you through the trials and tribulations to see if you're really ready to get what it is that you're asking for. Because that's what I'm certain on. I'm like, there's multiple times that I've had chances to lower my integrity, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, nothing's too sus. I was just having a conversation with my homegirl Erica last night and saying, like, we both had to thank God, because we never seen anything that was too terrible in the music industry that made me be like, oh, hell no. Nobody pulled their pants down and was like, you know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Or like any of that stuff, you know what I mean? So I'm just so blessed that I've never carried and never seen any of that, because I'm chosen, you know what I mean? I'm anointed to have that light around me, because I believe in it and I ask for it and I pray for it and I'm thankful for it. So I'm protected. But it's like, there's a lot of stuff in this industry that is, to get you looking the other way, you know what I mean? Or get you, if you want something bad enough and you don't really know why you want it, you know what I'm saying? You'll do anything to get it. And I'm just so grateful that I have never been an opportunity, or I've never done anything like that where I'm out here bugging out, singing about this recklessness or doing this recklessness for the attention or for the power of whatever I thought I needed.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, if I became as successful as I wanted to be at 18, I would definitely not be the same person I am now. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah. Is there anything, I guess, that you can share, that you're willing to share, that was one of those moments that's like, damn, this is really how the music industry is? Like, I didn't quite expect that.
You know what? Like, again, like I said, I'm just so grateful to never had to go through anything traumatizing where I'm just like, wow, I have a bad taste in my mouth from the music industry. You know what I mean? I think everything that I've gone through has just been a little bit like starstruck, or just kind of looking back. Like, I was driving Uber in LA for a while, and I had SZA in my car before she dropped Control. And it's like, this is one of those things that when I'm in the studio with her, I'm gonna be like, wow, you don't even remember me.
Right.
Crazy. You know what I mean? Like, but either way, I didn't even talk to her or anything, but I just want to play a joke. But like, something as small as that, or is me being like, man, I'm out here in the music industry and people are going to be famous all the time, and not taking my opportunity to really shoot my shot in that car and play her some records and talk to her and ask her if she needed background singers or anything, like, or me walking in the studio in Santa Monica and walking to the bathroom and Tyga walking out the bathroom and me not saying anything to him again, because I'm just like, nigga, I'm out here. I'm gonna be out here, you know what I mean? But just understanding, like, in this music industry, it's split second. That one conversation could change your whole life, you know what I'm saying? So, and even me, like, sitting down and singing for Burner and his manager, you know what I mean? It was from us seeing Burner to me going over there and talking to him to singing, you know what I'm saying? It just me realizing, like, if you want to be somewhere, you want to get something better enough, you have to have that conversation. You got to put yourself out there. So I think that's the only thing that I've really learned, like, wow, in the game, it's not going to come to you, big dog. You got to go get it if you want it.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things that most people are afraid of, because it's like, if you really put it into perspective, okay, had you talked to SZA, the worst thing she can say is no. By you asking the question, whatever the case is, if she rejects you, that doesn't mean that you're done.
And, like, mind you, this is before she even, like, this is before she even dropped Control, before the album blew up, before Diddy was posting it on his page.
Before she was SZA.
This is before she's already SZA, because she's done songs with Kendrick and Schoolboy. So in my eyes, she's already prolific. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she's got her own fan base in LA. I just moved to LA trying to do what she's doing. So in my eyes, she's already a big deal. But again, if I would have just said, like, yo, I sing, and if you need background singers, like, and I played her some records and I sang for her, you know what I mean? I probably would be in a totally different position than I'm in now. But in my mind, while I was driving her, I was like, man, I'm in LA. This is probably something that's going to happen all the time. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to make my way to where I need to be. And like I said, I'm going to be in the studio with her, like, that's crazy. You don't even remember me? Like, I drove you to go make the shirts for Control. You don't even remember, nigga. That's crazy. You're like, nigga, you an Uber driver, nigga. Relax.
Right.
Put my money on casino.
Baby, can't you see? You're the only girl for me. Take you places that you never seen. We